Hey YouTube and hi Spotify. It's Kel again and I am back with another video for our series on manipulation tactics. And tonight is going to be probably a brief one, but the point is important, and honestly it took me personally too long to learn, so I really wanted to jump on and kind of give a word of encouragement to anybody out there who is experiencing anything along the lines of things that I've experienced in the past. And so I just want to share lessons I've learned. And one of those things is on the subject of, so we're in the series of manipulation tactics, and the topic that we're going to talk about tonight is withdrawal. Now, you never know, because a person usually will not admit it if they have purposefully withdrawn. But if you're dating a person and they have withdrawn, it's important to look at a lot of different things. Okay, one is, do they have a pattern of doing it, right? If you have a pattern of a person is present and emotionally present and safe for you 99% of the time, and then they withdraw, and especially if they can communicate, hey, I'm kind of like, I'm going into my cave, or I need some time just to time to myself to have space, or, but for no reason, or, just, we're all allowed to have our own pullback time and pulling into ourselves and refocusing on getting ourselves back to regulated, that is fine. And I would say, number one, look at if there's a pattern of it. Okay, pattern of withdrawal. Again, if it's a one-time thing or once in a blue moon, you probably will not worry about it, because the relationship is so safe that it won't worry you, right? You might be worried, are they okay? Are they, physically safe? But emotionally, you'll probably be like, our relationship is great. We're fine. So, and, ideally you could communicate about it just to help both people understand why that happened. But, if it's once in a blue moon and the pattern is presence, then you probably do not have very much to worry about when compared to a larger, longer pattern of one person withdrawing in the relationship. And you know what I mean when I say that? It's basically, if you have two people and you have the intimacy is, say, the space between you guys, and you can be very close or you can be more distant or whatever, but a lot of times, as long as that intimacy is within comfortable ranges for people, they're fine, right? Just being close. You want to be close in an intimate relationship when you're dating someone. Now, withdrawal obviously is when a person takes a step back emotionally, whether that becomes withdrawal can look many different ways. And I'll get into, tonight I'm talking about if they go through a period of not responding to you, or taking much longer to respond to you, or okay. So again, kind of reestablishing if this is a pattern for you in your relationship. This is the lesson I want to share that I personally have learned. For a very long time, I would go into kind of cognitive intellectualizing, why are they doing that? What's going on in their life? I would try to find, try to understand them better, which I always do think is a good thing. But what I would say as a therapist for 20 years now, 20 plus, is what is very important to do during these times when you experience some kind of what I would call intimacy turbulence is to, instead of going into what's going on with them mode, the important part is for you to self-reflect on if that person is meeting your emotional needs. Okay, so because it's almost too easy, and I would say especially for women, but definitely some men too, to come up with logical reasons in their mind why something is going on, and then they're understanding of it, but meanwhile your own emotional needs are going unmet. And I remember I had a great friend around the time that I was in graduate school, maybe a few years after we were working together as therapists, and she was so wise. But at that period of time, this was a long time ago, I was dating, and I was kind of just processing with her about something that was going on. in my a relationship that I had at the time. And she said, the thing is, you don't have to figure out what's going on with them. You have to figure out what's going on with you, right? And like, if you are focusing on your needs, are they meeting your needs? Are they being a good, consistent, loyal, supportive partner to you? And so, as much as we can all rack our brains about what could possibly be going on with other people and like psychoanalyzing them and whatever, you actually have the answers within you. And there are answers there because you can ask yourself, are they meeting your needs consistently? Are they emotionally present and safe in the relationship? Are they consistent? Are they reliable? Are they dependable? Are they what you would deem a supportive partner? Do they know how to give you reassurance, validation? Now, obviously, the more fulfilled you are as a human being, just in general, you will know how to give yourself those things also, right? You can validate yourself, you can reassure yourself, you can, but you also want a huge point of being in a partnership is to have a supportive partner, right? If they're not supportive and they're causing you more anxiety than they are actually giving you support, it's probably, I'm just being honest, it's not a great relationship, and you have to ask yourself, what are you getting out of it? Why are you in it? And it's fine if you just want to work on things, that's great, but don't accept, so like withdrawal, when people, if they withdraw consistently, my point to you, my lesson to you after doing 20 years of therapy is, you can analyze that person till the sun comes up, and it's interesting. It's almost entertaining, but you probably will not get any real answers, because if that person is not communicating to you what's going on, then all the rest of it is just a guess, right? You're just, at best, you're guessing. But what's more important, where the answers do lie, and this is the important part, is the answers lie within you. You have the answers as to, is this person good enough for you if they are consistently withdrawing? Are they present and reliable or safe if they're consistently withdrawing in a pattern of whatever, even if it's, they just need to self-regulate and they're very introverted and blah, blah, blah. You could have great reasons why all day. The question is, how much withdrawal is too much for you? And then you have the ability to answer that question. For some people can take more withdrawal and they're just like, we're both very independent, and then some people, it's like, no, I want someone who is reliable, supportive, consistent. And yeah, if they need their space, cool. But like, I also want to make the point of like, withdrawal a lot of times is not communicated. So if it's communicated, that is a much better form of, I need to take some space to, like I remember in Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, Dr. Gray, John Gray, would say that he would frequently tell his partner, hey, I just need to go into my man cave. And what he meant by that was emotionally retreat from the relationship, like pulling into himself to regulate himself. And then he said he would come out and be like ready to give again, but he did need to take, frequent time to go into his, quote, internal man cave, pull back, just regulate himself. But the point is that in that scenario, Dr. John Gray communicated it to his wife, spouse, partner. And he would say, hey, I need some, self-regulation. I'm going to go into my man cave. I will be back. And it's not going to be forever. It's just like, whatever. I need a few hours. I need the night or whatever. But the point is that it was communicated. It is communicated as to why, what's going on proactively, so that the person on the other end doesn't worry, go, start going, is everything okay with us? Is he mad at me? Now, again, here's another point to this conversation. If someone is making you ask those questions, are they mad at me? Or is everything okay? You can go down those paths all day long if you want, but the more crucial thing is for you to ask yourself, if someone is making you question those things all the time, do you want to be with a person who is making you feel that way, is making you anxious, is making you question, is making you not feel secure and assured. Now, again, you can make yourself feel secure and assured, but some partners who are more present, supportive, reassuring, validating, loving, kind, all those things are going to make you feel a lot more secure than if a person has a pattern of withdrawal. So my point, if you hear anything in me, in this video tonight, and we're not going to get so much into the is it actual manipulation when people withdraw? Is it conscious or is it unconscious? Because a person can withdraw for numerous reasons. Now, sometimes it very much is conscious, and that is the manipulation tactic part, is if someone pulls back and they're like, I want to test this person and see if I pull away, are they going to chase me? And what are they going to do? So like that's the manipulation piece. But a lot of times people either subconsciously withdraw because they need their own, they haven't like really figured themselves out yet, and they're just trying to regulate themselves. Or, I think it can be a coping pattern. Like I said, with Dr. John Gray, it wasn't meaning to be, and it was him needing his space. But that's not what I'm considering withdrawal. When I consider like withdrawal is kind of disappearing from your partner for a significant amount of time and not communicating with them where you are, what's going on, basically silence is, and you could even get into passive aggression, which we'll do in another video, what is passive aggression and what does that look like? But a lot of times it can look like withdrawal because the person is not being direct and communicative with you about whatever their needs are. They're just going missing, which is not a safe feeling for your partner, So the more you can, if you are more the withdrawer, if you are that person, the best thing you can do is try to find a way to proactively communicate to your partner that you just need space. It has nothing, it does or doesn't have to do with them, but that, when you proactively say, hey, like I'm, just feeling like I need introvert time or whatever, but I'll be back, it has nothing to do with us or whatever, that pullback is going to be experienced by your partner in a much better way, right? So, but again, my point to all, especially the young ladies out there, but also men and women who have been on the receiving end of withdrawal tactics when it comes to a pattern with your partner, I would tell you, instead of trying to figure out what's going on with them, which again, I've done a million times and made mistakes way back in the day, too much energy spent on trying to figure out something that you'll never really get the answers to. It's kind of a way to drive you insane. So, but the more important thing is not to figure out them or figure out what's going on with them or analyze them. The more important thing is to look to yourself and say, is this person meeting my needs? When I think of what a supportive partner is, when I think of my dream partner, when I think of a great partner, is this person acting in that way? And come to your, what if he's not or she's not meeting certain needs, what specific needs are they not meeting? And like, then you can communicate that to your partner. And you can also say, hey, here's another way to communicate to your partner who's withdrawing. Like, hey, when you withdraw, I feel not important to you. I feel disrespected, or I feel neglected, or whatever your feelings are. And then you can say, in the future, if you need time and space away, can you just, can you let me know somehow? Can you just, say you're going into your man cave and like, you'll be back or so. But the important thing is not even just how to address it. The important thing is for you to ask yourself, because that is where the answers lie. Is this person meeting your emotional needs? Do they have a pattern of pretty consistently meeting your emotional needs, right? We all make mistakes. We're all not going to love perfectly. We all, screw up from time to time and have to apologize for things. But there should be a pattern of emotional presence, a pattern of emotional safety, a pattern of reliability, a pattern of support, and your partner being there for you. So if not, really ask yourself, is this meeting my needs? And if not, how can I communicate it? How do I want to work on it? Is this good enough for me? And again, I don't have the answers for you. Only you have the answers. But the point is, don't go looking for answers out there trying to figure the person out. You know, turn it back on yourself and say, like, is this person meeting my needs? You know, are they meeting your needs is the question, right? And not what's going on with them. But it's like, no, are they supportive enough for you? Are they reliable? Are they present enough? Are they consistent? And, you know, all the things that you want in a partner. Now, granted, you're not always going to get every single little thing, but like emotional presence and the ability to communicate if you're, you know, shifting the intimacy in some way is a very important glue to relationships. People have to be able to do that. So if that's not happening, ask yourself, is this good enough for me? Are they meeting my needs? Not like what's going on with them. Okay. I really just wanted to get that off my chest because like I said, it took me too long to learn way, you know, back in the day. And, the more I can, you know, pass along all the things I have so many clients who still ask me these kinds of questions and it's like try to figure the other person out. It's like, well, again, let's refocus on you and are they good enough in meeting your needs, you know? So anyway, I don't judge any of this. We are all on our own journey. We all learn some things earlier and some things later. So there's no judgment whatsoever, but I just wanted to pass along the things I have seen and observed. And I mean, I do feel very grateful that I've had 20 years of therapy experience because, you know, providing thousands of hours of therapy to people just really does help me to see kind of certain patterns or things that maybe need to, you know, be said again. So we can all hear things that we already know again, right? So I hope that you are having a great night wherever you are. And I'm thinking about you and I'm sending love and I will see you next time.